Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today we're back on Top 11 2021 for a video that will also help you out pretty much. So today we're going to take a look at formations and tactics which influence the game quite a lot if you didn't realize so far. Basically, formations and tactics are the main thing that can change a game and the way it works. The formation is basically the way in which you arrange the players by mentality, literally arranging them onto the field, set piece takers, which I have to choose, and so forth and so on. So the main formation that I personally use and that seems to pay off quite well is a 4-3-3 focused through the middle, and I'll explain why later on. With shadow strikers, you can see my AML and AMR are playing from the back, but the game still considers them as a part of the front three, and we call those guys shadow strikers. Now, the formation should be modified, changed based on every opponent. If your opponent is more difficult, you should try and counter him. There are different counters for every single formation you're going to run in this game, and basically countering means both covering his players, his main players is most important, but at the same time arranging your players and setting their mentality and so on and tactics so that you can also create your own opportunities, score, and eventually win the game. Now, if you have weaker opponents, then you don't really need to counter them. It also depends on how weak they are. Maybe if they're a similar quality, you should at least attend the game to see if they're online, if they make any changes that might change the game in their favor, and then do the appropriate changes so that you don't concede. And tactics influence a lot the game. And basically, tactics are pretty intuitive and based on your players and the opponent's best players. If I have a weaker opponent, I usually go for attacking, which will also influence my attackers and my players in general to move a bit forward and make more scoring opportunities. Normally, if you see someone play attacking or hard attacking, you're going to realize by the fact that they have their midfield and players further up their own lines, but it's not the case in my formation. Basically, I'm just keeping them behind in case they have to defend so that they're ready, and alongside the four defenders they create a strong powerful wall that will not receive any goals. Instead, I do have my forward pretty much up front. This is why I'm also using long passing so that it's easier for midfielders that are behind the midline to actually succeed passes further up the line to the strikers that will and attacking midfielders that will take the ball and score. In case of focus passing, I'm focusing it through the middle because if you see the left and right side players are actually positioned as much as possible in the middle. I don't exactly know why. I just saw that they were more efficient when I did this change. In general, then they are if they are on the on the sides. Of course, I do change as well the formation and tactics if the opponents are stronger or much stronger. Sorry for that. So what's with the mentality? The mentality of a player basically is like if they have an arrow back, you basically tell them to move further back than they are already. And I do have they they don't necessarily change it all. If you put front arrows on the attackers, this won't mean they will score much more than they usually do. Even though I do use these front arrows, it's not that often that I actually use them. But I do use the back arrows for the defensive line, so that the main reason is that if the opponent has a counterattack, they move quickly along with the hopefully trained, let's say trained speed. This guy's speed is great, so he doesn't need it anyway. Anyway, so that they can run faster and stay where they should be. Now, this guy's formation is a 4-4-2. I'm not going to counter it since he is already 18% weaker, but we're going to move on to the tactics. And for tactics, I already went through the first three. I always go to force counterattacks on, but usually, because in my opinion, if you have force counterattacks on, you might have more chances of actually having counterattacks, and most usually counterattacks end up in goals. Pressing style high, tackling style hard. I recommend this especially against harder opponents, because that will pretty much give you a certainty that you will at least try and have as much possession as possible. If you have a weaker opponent, it's not ideal to tire your players for nothing. So I just switch it to low and normal, and we'll see how it goes. Marking style zonal, man-to-man tube used only against weaker opponents. Again, I switch to man-to-man. Offside trap on, because I consider that when you play the offside trap, you will obviously catch the opponent's attackers offside when they are supposed to score. So this is basically how I explained formation tactics. Again, this should be changed according to every single opponent you have, because every single formation that the opponent has can be a counter to yours. And even though on the page and in the numbers you look like a favorite, you you have chances not to win, and vice versa. If you're weaker, this might countering the opponent might help you out with defending from him and actually ending up winning a game that you didn't think you would win. So that was me for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed and learned something from this video, and we'll see each other tomorrow with another top 11 tutorial video. Till next time, goodbye.